Okay, y'all. So my main thesis for this video was supposed to be a combination of things, right? How hip hop artists, rappers in the Y2K era pretty much created the whole branding identity thing for hip hop artists, for music artists, and creating brands and products and stuff for their demographic and consumers. And I also thought about how Baby Phat was the mastermind behind this. Like, and she wasn't even a hip hop artist. She was married to a hip hop mogul. So of course she was in like the hip hop industry and in that world. But just like hip hop influence was that strong that even if you weren't actual rapper or singer or artist in the industry, if you were still connected to it, you still had major influence. Back then, or before then, if you made music, you kind of just were an artist, you toured, and then if you did fashion on the side, that was literally just like a bonus. Hip hop artists didn't just start wearing brands, they literally began to build them. And once that happened, the expectations shifted forever. So when Jay-Z and Diddy and Kamora and Nelly and 50 Cent and Eve and J-Lo, like everybody, all of them, when they launched these brands, it didn't feel like a side hustle. They treated it like extensions of their artistry. Rocawear was a part of the Jay-Z story. This era taught fans to expect more than just music, to become immersed in this artist world, which is now like an expectation today. Back then, it was just so new. Like, oh my gosh, this artist is giving us so much, right? They're coming out with branding and exclusive access to them. It felt really, really new because it was new. It was fresh then. And where now it's kind of like an artist's expectation. Once hip hop proved that artists could sell clothes, shoes, fragrance, and lifestyle because the numbers were big, okay? They weren't just selling, stuff here and there. These brands were in Bloomingdale's, Macy's, okay? Sean John was up there with Armani suits. Okay, this was the first time Black artist fashion lines and style was being put to the forefront and being put next to these high-end brands. Hip hop proved that these artists are capable of bringing in big bucks through fashion. There was no turning back. The audience got used to asking artists, what's your brand? What do you wear? What do you represent? It's a whole universe now that an artist has a responsibility of creating for the consumer. Back then, it was just a treat, being different, being unique. Like, oh, I want to try something new. And now it's like an expectation of an artist. You've been out. We're expecting you to come out with a product or something to go along with your music. That's what I was trying to say this whole time. That's what I was trying to say this whole time. Oh my gosh. We expect a fashion collab. We expect a sneaker deal. We expect a beauty line. Merch that feels intentional, not because it was required by the industry, but because hip hop trained us to expect it. Today, when we look at modern artists launching brands, think Ivy Park, Fenty, Yeezy, Golf Wang, Skims counts too, right? Skims is like the baby fat category. Literally, oh my God, y'all, we just had, you know what? Because let's really talk about the parallels of baby fat and Skims, okay? Kamar Lee Simmons was married to hip hop mogul Russell Simmons, right? He had his whole Phat Farm brand. Kamora was like, okay, it's my turn to create a masterpiece. Let's not only be a power couple, let's, create a fashion dynasty. So she was like, I'm gonna be a creative director of this brand, Baby Phat. And I don't want Phat Farm for women. No, 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 no. She wanted something sexy, glamorous, feminine, a lifestyle, a story, right? For our hip hop adjacent ladies. So she said, "Hey, we're gonna do Baby Phat, and we gonna create amazing jeans that look good on everybody booty. fur trimmed crop jackets, and it just blew up. And Baby Phat, as we know, is a whole lifestyle, a whole brand. Y'all was tattooing that damn Siamese cat all over y'all back in the day. Baby Phat was iconic, is iconic, will forever be iconic. But that's literally the story of Skims. And I just clicked to me now. Okay, Kim married a hip hop mogul who had his own brand and his fashion, you know, uh inside, connections and whatnot. She said, "Hey, I want to come up with something too." And boom, we got Skims. Kamora Lee Simmons is the blueprint. And that was also a part of the thesis for this as well. But so much of this is connected and intertwined. And that's like literally how you explain the Y2K era. Everything is intertwined. Everything is connected, from the food to the fashion to the television to the music. Everything was lived and connected. Okay, so now that we got that little thought together, this was a cultural shift. It became more about ownership. The artists realized that they had this freedom. It changed everything. Being just a rapper stopped being the goal. You wanted to be a rapper with a brand. That expectation still sits with us today. An artist isn't just a voice, they're a platform. And once that idea entered hip hop culture, it never left. So, like I said, I was trying to fit a lot in here. Thesis was kind of all over the place, but there's a point I am trying to make. This is the moment when hip hop taught us that an artist wasn't just supposed to make music, they were supposed to build a world. Rocawear, Baby Phat, Apple Bottoms, G Unit, Fetish. These weren't just clothing lines, they were proof of a concept. They showed that if people believed in the music, believe in the vision. And once that door opened, it never closed. When an artist blows up, they are immediately expected to drop a fashion line, a sneaker collab, a beauty line, something we can consume. And we don't even question it. That expectation didn't just come out of nowhere. It was built in the malls. It was built on BET. It was built on TRL. And culture never looked back. I guess what I'm trying to sum up here is how artists and their branding really created an expectation for today. It was new, it was refreshing in this time, but it was not an expectation. We were shocked every time a artist was dropping something new. We couldn't believe it. Oh, they're into fashion too. And now it's like, okay, Ice Spice blew up. What is she going to drop for us to buy? Where's your branding? We expect that from artists now. And I don't know if that's good or bad. It's just an observation. Thanks for tuning into Millennial Girl. Can't wait for you guys to check out my next episode. Please, please, please make sure you like, subscribe, watch my other videos. Let me know what you want me to talk about. I love suggestions. I love getting more topics. So make sure you subscribe and tune in. Thanks for watching.